mean, one time I got really excited about Waka Flocka, and yeah, we did hang out. I met his mom, and
Drake had hollered at you.
Ooh.
I don't know the validity of it.
yeah, it's gonna
So, well, wait, hold
be crickets. I'd rather not.
We're not saying nothing happened, but like, you know, Drake hollered.
boom. So here's the thing. Obviously, that the first two bits I only played them one because this confirms, of course, that she did have some sort of, you know, thing with Waka Flocka, but that's something that we did speak about. I've reported about before, and so it's nice to get the confirmation. The Drake thing is something else that was also asked to Chantel last season, and she already addressed that anyway. Actually, no, that was on the family channel. She actually mentioned the Drake thing anyway, so that's already been addressed. So I don't know why it's been brought up again anyway. But I've got a feeling the reason why she ain't saying anything is because there's probably legal things behind that, to be fair, because, you know, Drake's the kind of person that would legally cover himself, if anything. This is what I'm saying. It's either that or the whole thing was made up. But either way, though, let's now get into the nitty-gritty of exactly, you know, how Chantel's story went on this season of The Single Life. But before we do that, we are on the road to 60k subscribers by the end of April. So please do subscribe. So therefore, you can continue watching me for free, because subscribing is for free, as you're watching me right now for free. Like the video too, please. Yeah. And comment. Thank you. Yeah.
Her point is that, Chantel, you're beautiful. Just your face is enough. You don't need any other asset to get attention from men.
It's all about harvesting the cucumber and the eggplant. That's not a good place to start out.
Let's all take a deep breath, because Debbie's talking again, because she's a freaking genius.
That's not a good place to start out. We can't brag about not wearing panties. It's the location where you're at. You sent the wrong signals to the men that were around you. Okay, I'm a piece of meat and I'm desirable.
Well, you should not watch them. Wear your damn granny panties.
All right, boom. Listen, you know what? I've been wanting to rant about this one real quick. So here's the thing, you know, for the whole season, I have literally, you know, held Chantel accountable for her whole behavior, and even her, well, her friends a little bit, right? And that's something that I would continue to do. But one thing that I'm not going to do is sit here and agree with Debbie. For a simple reason, because Debbie has, who is she to speak? Debbie's like that person that everybody knows. You see, she's either one of those family members or one of those friends who has all these things to say, right, that make all the sense in the world. But when it comes to their life, they don't apply none of it to their life. Debbie is what, 67 years of age, maybe 68 now, something like that. And she's only now just found a relationship, right, that has begun in a positive manner, because she realized that being honest was the best way to be in a relationship at the very beginning. Why am I going to listen to someone like that give me advice or give me their opinion on something? I don't care whether she's right or she's wrong. I don't care, because if you can't apply what you're saying to yourself, then why would I think it's going to work for me? But here's the thing though, right? Okay, what Tim said is correct. Chantel has got a beautiful face, okay? So therefore she's got a face that, you know, generally speaking, can attract most men. I'm not going to disagree with that. Now, Debbie likes to make the point about how Chantel obviously was bragging about, you know, having no panties. But here's the thing though. If I'm one of the guys if I'm one of these guys that maybe she stumbles across on this trip, okay? Am I going to know that she's commando? No. The only way I'm going to know is if, generally speaking, if I take her to the bedroom and boom, boom, boom. So really and truly, her going out there is really not that deep with her being commando, because I'm not going to know, right? Her saying it on the show, I guess, it's really not that deep, to be honest. It's really not that deep. Now, I will say this, though. The way you carry yourself is very, very, very important, okay, to how a man is going to take you seriously. You know what I mean? Women have to realize sometimes how you present yourself is how a man decides whether or not you're going to be wife material, or if you're just going to be somebody who he can just sleep with, right? There is always going to be that thing. With Chantel now, her biggest issue is not necessarily based on how she dresses, okay? Because at the end of the day, I can understand that the way she tries to dress and present herself is the way it's a way of her building her self-confidence, and it's a way of her even keeping her self-esteem. It's basically a way for her to still feel like she is the shiz. And if that's what she's got to do for her self-confidence, do what you got to do. Is it for me personally? I'm not too sure. Is it for some other guys? Probably not. Is it for some other guys? Probably is. But what it comes down to the most when it comes to Chantel is her personality, is her persona. That is her biggest flaw. The biggest flaw that she has is that when you speak to her, or at least when you watch her, right, she comes across more of like a somebody that still hasn't matured enough in life. That's the most polite way that I can say that without saying it in a very insulting way, okay? So really and truly, the advice that all of them are giving Chantel is pretty much irrelevant because they're all talking to her based on how she's presented herself image-wise, not necessarily on how she's presented herself with her energy, with her aura. You see what I'm saying, okay? Because at the end of the day, if I was on a trip now and I came across a woman like Chantel, okay? First things first, if I was to look at her, first things first, I'll be like, you know what? I see that she appreciates her image. All right, cool. I like that. She's showing a little bit of confidence. All right, cool. I like that. No worries, okay? Second thing that I'm now trying to figure out at that point is, okay, but what's your vibe though? What is your vibe? Now here's the thing, upon speaking to Chantel now, I would know straight away that this is somebody that is not necessarily, you know, in the best of places right now. I would know that she's somebody that's looking for a man to come into her life and basically carry her. You see what I'm saying? I would know that she's not the kind of person that is going to necessarily know how to really be there for a man. And I think that is something that has been evident in her relationship with Pedro. It was very evident that she knew how to, she didn't really know how to be there for him. You see what I'm saying? Even though he kept telling her multiple times, she didn't really know. She was more concerned about how he could be there for her. And that is one of the biggest issues with a lot of women. They worry so much more about how a man can be there for her rather than worrying about how she can be there for him. Understand this. If a woman is dealing with a confident man, a man that is a man that knows up, who's emotionally intelligent, a man that has he knows his own worth, he needs to figure out what the hell are you gonna do for him. But that's the conversation that gets very confusing because a lot of people think, oh, do you mean like, am I gonna pay the bills for you? Or do you mean are we gonna split the bill? No, that doesn't mean that. No, understand this, okay? A good man that already has his shit together is generally looking for a woman to come into his life and add to what he's already doing and maybe take some responsibilities away from him that he doesn't like to do, you know, depending on what they are, okay? And this is the issue that we have at hand, okay? So with Chantel, if I was to speak to this woman, I would know that there's nothing that she can give me, okay? I would know that she's gonna literally expect me to just carry her. And when I say carry her, she's gonna expect me to do every single thing possible that she wants in life. But for her to do the things that I want in life, it's probably not gonna happen because she sees things one-dimensional. Why? Because she still sees herself, and this is the thing where it gets interesting, because she is the shiz to herself, she thinks that that her value is that because I'm good enough looking, I should get everything that I want, but I shouldn't ever have to give you anything necessarily. I'm just saying, you look back to a relationship with Pedro, that's what Pedro was complaining about the whole time. About, I was here for you, you know, the whole time you were studying, you was doing your nursing, I did all these things that I was home, blah, blah, blah. But then the second that I started working and then I started wanting to do things, you didn't want to do anything that I wanted to do. You didn't want to support me, blah, blah, blah. He said it so many freaking times. But of course, for a lot of us, it was something that was hard for us to see because we was too fixated on the fact that, you know, Pedro was potentially scamming her, all that kind of stuff. But what he said was not a lie because she still has that same energy. But she's not the only person as well. There's so many women that have that energy. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? But like I said though, everything that I'm saying is only based on if you're around a good guy. If you're not around a good guy, then it's a different conversation. Anyway, I hope that made sense. And yeah, we'll leave it as that. You know what I mean? And yeah, Debbie, be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.